got to talk about the slithery snake, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Yes, I said California, not California. That was done intentionally. He had an interview on the BBC where he was actually called out to his face. And I'm loving this movement of calling Democrats out to their face on their lies over the past 4 years. Now, Gavin Newsom does something that's quite interesting in this that, let's just say, I think it's going to spell doom for the Democrat Party. With that being said, let's dive in.
Okay, because I think you took me away from my question there, which is about your strategy if you're seen to attack your own government. And if it's not about red, white and blue, be candid about the failures of the Democrat Party. How much did your chaotic campaign help create the 47th president?
Well, we're doing a forensic on that, and I think that's a deeper question of what happened.
But it's a good question, isn't it? Because you ran a candidate in Joe Biden, who I think you were having to go into the spin room on in the debate where he couldn't speak.
Yeah, well, that was a challenging night for all of us, particularly, as you rightfully say, as one of his chief spokespersons at the time, trying to make a case at that moment. And look, I was making a case for what the Biden administration did to strengthen our allies around the world and what I thought was a masterclass in domestic policy making. But obviously we landed with a 107-day campaign with Kamala Harris. I thought she ran a very good campaign. It was a challenged campaign. Of course, we lost. We lost the popular vote and we lost the electoral vote. We got crushed. And we need to be humble about that, and we need to have some grace, and we need to understand why. Was it because of the incumbency penalty? Was it because of inflation? Was it because of interest rates? Was it because of immigration? Was it because we were too, quote unquote, woke? Was it because of issues with Israel? Was it all of the above? I think we are going through that forensic. We need to understand at the same time, we also have to push back against the whitewaters and headwinds of the Trump administration.
But, I mean, is it you leaving something very important off the list, Governor? You also ran a candidate who could not reliably talk, walk, or ride a bicycle. Take me into Gavin Newsom's soul when you had to tell reporters from around the world why the United States president could not complete a sentence.
Well, it was obviously we were challenged as it relates to that debate. But if you're asking about my soul, which I appreciate, you're asking about my direct engagement and interactions with former President Joe Biden, who was not our nominee, but as it relates to his campaign and what those decisions look like, as it relates to his determination whether or not to continue that campaign or end it as he did, I never had, period, full stop. I would be lying to you, and I won't lie to you, as it relates to the direct engagement I had with Joe Biden that ever suggested a cognitive decline to the degree that we saw, at that debate night. And so that was a challenging moment. And of course, over the course of the next few weeks, that moment became a monumental decision where he decided to pass that baton, and Kamala Harris, as vice president, became our nominee.
Bro, if you have to say, I'm not going to lie to you, you're definitely lying. If you have to say, I'm not going to lie to you about this, I'm going to automatically assume that you're probably lying. Especially when it comes to, when we talk about the whole Joe Biden situation. All of a sudden, nobody knows anything. Nobody knows nothing. Not a thing, zero, zilch, nada. Nobody knew anything? Really? So let me ask you this, Gavin Newsom. If you knew nothing, and you had witnessed Joe Biden, you've watched him, you see the same things that we do. As a matter of fact, you probably have closer contact to Joe Biden than anybody else. Well, one of the closest to Joe Biden than anybody else. And you didn't know? Doesn't that say something about you yourself? So should you actually be running for president? Should you even be governor of California if you couldn't notice someone's cognitive decline that was completely obvious? You didn't notice someone tripping over sandbags on a stage. You didn't notice someone who couldn't read a teleprompter correctly. End of quote. Repeat the line. You didn't notice someone walking off like a lost puppy. You didn't notice someone needing tape marks on the ground to guide him to where he needed to go. You didn't notice someone who was guided off the stage by Barack Obama. You didn't notice someone. I mean, my goodness, this is ridiculous. The fact that I can just keep going with this shit is just, oh my God. And they continue to lie about it. That's the crazy part to me. And this is why I say the Democrat Party is cooked. Because now To be completely honest, and hopefully there aren't many Democrats watching, but to be completely honest, Democrats had a way out of this situation. They genuinely did. All Democrats had to do was say, you know what? Yeah, we did that. We lied about it. And we apologize. We thought Trump was such a danger that, and we wanted to make sure that Trump didn't get in office. We lied about it. And we're sorry, and we'll never do it again. Not saying that I would personally believe them, but there's a large segment of this country that unfortunately I believe would have believed that apology. But the fact that they continue to lie about it, yeah, they're cooked. They're cooked. Because most of us already know that they lied. They lost. Duh. I mean, come on now. And it wasn't close, right? They lost every single swing state and they lost the popular vote, which a Republican hasn't done in 2 decades, you know? So they had a way out of this situation and still step on their own toes. It's amazing. It genuinely is amazing.
Just to my earlier question, when we ask how the circumstances were created, whereby Americans exercise a choice between candidate A and candidate B, a weak, bad campaign by your party helps explain the 47th president?
Well, I think it's a lot of conditions. There are a lot of pre-existing conditions. There were certainly a lot of situational challenges as it relates to the headwinds and the inflation scars and the challenges that we were working through as it relates to the impacts of costs. And of course, those were felt around the globe. It wasn't unique in the United States. But that said, our circumstances are certainly unique. And so, as I say, look, a lot of humility and grace. We lost. He won, period,
Yeah,
full stop. And we've got to own up to that, and we've got to get stronger and better.
But you said that the Democrats talk down to people. I'm just looking for a couple of sentences for British viewers who don't know your candor as well as perhaps the others who know you. Just be candid with the Brits. The Democrats messed it up.
Well, we lost, and we didn't make the case, and we didn't meet people where they are. And people right now do not have confidence in the Democratic Party. I love my party, and we have to own that. There was some recent polling, just to underscore it, so people listening and watching can appreciate your question, and I'm trying to be as candid as I can. We were 27% approval in the United States of America, and even with the Democratic Party, Democrats aren't feeling that strong about our party. Now, that's beginning to change. Trump is the obstacle in the way. He's also the obstacle which we will find our way back. That said, we have to own up to the fact that some people, fundamentally, the majority of people that turned out and voted, did not feel we had their interests at heart. And so we have a lot of work to do to re-engage those folks and to get our party back on track.
The fact that he thinks Trump is the way to get back on track, yeah, they're cooked. They're cooked. It's over with. It's over with. The fat lady, where did that even come from? The fat lady is singing, you know? Like, where did that come from? That has to be, obviously I know it's an older saying, but like, why do people say that to, you know, the fat lady is singing, you know, to like symbolize the end, right? Y'all let me know. But, yeah, the fat lady's singing, right? It's over. It's cooked. They are done. If that's what you genuinely think, Trump is the way to get back, yeah, you're done. You're done. I mean, we proved that already. All they did was Trump fearmonger for over a year since Trump launched his second campaign. All they did was fearmonger, 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 fearmonger. When that didn't work, Trump indictment, Trump indictment, Trump indictment, Trump indictment, Trump indictment. Right? And then once that didn't work, oh, Trump dictator, Trump Hitler, blah, 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 you know, KKK rally, whatever. No. It was the what did they say about the Madison Square Garden gathering? What was that the did they say that was Hitler or did they say that was the K group? I don't remember. But they tried that the whole thing, and oh my goodness, a comedian said this, you know, and they tried to make it seem as if Trump was the one. Bro, they tried everything. They literally were throwing the stove, the kitchen sink, everything to see what stuck, and nothing worked. And now they're going right back to that same strategy. Yeah, it's over. It's done. It's done, guys. Great midterms. great 2028. Whoever our candidate is, we got it in the bag. Just saying. But what do you think? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm on the right track? Do you think I'm way off? Let me know. Why or why not? Talk to me. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.